Hello everybody, what's up? Happy today's week one. Few observations, I guess, first off, before I get into NFC prediction. One, interesting loss, from the Eagles. They lose to the Redskins. Wow, Washington's D-line is really good. Really was on display there. I mean, they had 8 sacks. If you're a Philly fan, man, don't worry. It's just Washington's got a great D-line, best in the league. So I was kind of stunned by that. Haskins still, can't make those big throws. So, I need to see that in order for me to believe that he's a starting quarterback in this league. And other things, the Bears held on barely against the Lions. Trubisky still didn't look too sharp. I just got to see him make big plays, big throws, and he doesn't really do that. So that's that with Trubisky. The Pats, we ran a lot with Cam. We got the victory, which was big. Defense looked great. The McCourties are playing, which is good. It really helps our secondary. Hurts not to have Hightower. Would like to see a little more pass rush, but it looked pretty good today. But against better offense, like the Dolphins line stinks. So I'd like to see our pass rush against better teams. Also, mark my words that the Jets will have the number 1 pick. Just absolutely terrible structure of the team and just team building, roster building, by their management. I don't know how Darnold is supposed to become a better QB when he has no offensive line whatsoever and no wide receivers, right? Like, how can a young quarterback get better when he has none of those? This is year 3, keep in mind, that Darnold's on the Jets. And for 3 seasons, he hasn't had a good offensive line or good wide receivers. Like, what are we doing here? Like, this is football 101. Like, you need a good offensive line and you need good wide receiver and like a few good targets. Like, you look at Josh Allen, he didn't have great wide receivers last year, but he had a good line. And they made the playoffs last year. So, also moving to New York, their defense is also horrible. Like, what are we doing with all this free agent money? Like, they have all this cap space. Like, what are we spending it on? I know C.J. Mosley wasn't playing, but let's get a cornerback. Let's get some more pass rushing. Awful roster. Burrow looked really good. Unfortunately, their kicker shanked a 31-yard field goal, but Burrow looked really good. The Chargers played well. I thought their defense played decent, and that Hayward-Harris combination is going to be so lethal, with Derwin James also. And then Bosa and Ingram on the end, man, that's a good defense. Good. Cardinals with a big win. Their defense played decent, which I was impressed by. I didn't think their defense was going to be very good, but looked all right. And their offense looked great. D-Hop, huge game. Love to see that, especially when he's matched up against Sherman for the majority of his catches. Murray's awesome. I had a prediction 2 years ago where I said after Baker Mayfield came off of his really good rookie season, I said I'd still rather have Kyler Murray with the first pick overall, and that I've been right on that. Also, the Niners, every team goes through a Super Bowl hangover, so that's that. Rodgers' big day for the Pack. Really different Packers offense. Usually they're really run heavy, run the clock, and then, Rodgers didn't have as many TDs last year just because they ran the ball so much. But they scored 43 points today. I thought their defense looked pretty good, but I think they kind of fell apart a bit coverage-wise in the second half. Thielen had a couple of big plays. How was that? In terms of Tampa, Tampa lost kind of big to the Saints. I think it's really hard to judge them. I think what we can think is, I think Brady's another step slower, not very mobile in the pocket. His throws were decent, but their line also isn't that great. I think it's hard to say, like, oh, their defense is bad. Like, you're playing against the Saints, man. Like, Kamara, Breeze, Taysom Hill's a threat. Michael Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders, like, and probably the best line in the NFL. Like, you can't just like say, oh, they gave up 34 points against the Saints. Like, their defense sucks. I don't think it's fair to say that, but it could definitely use some work. Panthers lose. They looked all right. McCaffrey, big day. I think they need to work on their defense a bit, especially running wise. Josh Jacobs went off. Still didn't think Carr played spectacular, but I didn't watch much of the game, so I only had like vague observations. Like I said, Pats win. Miami didn't really seem ready to play. I feel like we kind of came out there and kind of gut punched them, and it was too late. Also, Miami does not have a good line, and it's hard for Fitzy to throw. And there's good wide receivers like Parker, Preston Williams, they're okay. Gaiseki is alright. Other games. So Ravens just absolutely trampled the Browns. And this is really a head scratcher if you're the Browns, man. Like, I thought they had a really good roster. Like, you get Baker's O-line. You have the targets. You have Nick Chubb. And you have a pretty solid defense. Fitzpatrick was a better pick than Denzel Ward. I don't think that makes much difference, but want to see Delpit playing well. Want to see Greedy Williams make impacts, but not really seeing that. But the Ravens' offense is also so hard to stop. They're just such a good team. So it's a tough loss, though. Bengals, yeah, like I was saying, really impressed. Definitely could have beaten like a solid NFL team today. Burrow's really good. Their offense is, the line looked a little shaky at first. You're also playing against Ingram and Bosa, which is really hard to defend against. I mean, you got two quality pass rushers on both ends. But, Burrow made some good throws. He looks really good, man. And this is a lot better of a Cincinnati team. I think they're going to win like a decent amount of games. Duval. So the Jaguars beat the Colts, man. I did not see that coming. Philly was still, even with having an offensive line, Philly was still throwing checkdowns and wasn't really, like, can this guy throw the ball more than 30 yards? Like, I just wasn't seeing that from him. Wasn't seeing him throw deep balls. Just wasn't seeing it from him. A lot of checkdowns. And Minshew 19 for 20, insane stat. The run game was like all right, but like I said, they do have a really good line, so Minshew's gonna have time to throw, and they have decent wide receivers. Westbrook had a touchdown. I think Chark scored. And they came out on top. Their defense was good enough. Good to see C.J. Henderson and Allen playing well. And then the other game, what was the other game? I think I've covered all the games. Anyways, let's get right into it. I'm going to do like a quick, this will just be week 1 recap. And then I'll post the NFC preview after that.